While many of us may not know the foods and plants that are indigenous to Arkansas, Tim and Nena, owners of the restaurant Homegrown Native Foods, can educate us. Let's see what they have on their menu.
My fiance Tim and I are starting this restaurant, Homegrown Native Foods, and my background is in farming, so I have always had a very strong interest in food and in healthy food and local foods. And Tim has done a lot of research in the last couple of years into native foods particularly, and those things that were here pre-colonialism and that were used by indigenous families, so the different plants and animals, and we've both developed a strong love for that over the last couple of years and just have an interest in bringing that to the community and bringing good, healthy food that tastes great.
My role here at the restaurant is really to incorporate as many native plants to Northwest Arkansas as possible, and invasives. Use invasives as freely as we can to rid Northwest Arkansas of invasive plants that are detrimental to our ecology, and to source native plants in a sustainable way to ensure that they continue to grow and have a large pool of genetic diversity and can spread as far as they want and still feed us. And that helps our farmers with reducing their costs and makes them more money. And then that helps with organic, because organic's cheaper if you don't have to spray. These things are, generally speaking, much more immune to the issues that European, African, or Asian plants that are cultivated have. So they're more sustainable, they take less water, they take less energy, they love our environment, and they're delicious. So why not use them?
We are located on the main floor of the Beard and Lady Inn in Chester, which is at 411 East Front Avenue. It's the big brick building in Chester. And we are gonna start off serving dinners. We're looking at Friday and Saturday nights. And since our menu is based on seasonality and the local farming economy and local foraging season, the menu will change each month. So we're gonna have a set menu for dinner Friday night and a set menu for dinner Saturday night. So for the month of February, for example, on Friday night we're having gumbo, which is also tied to Black History Month. We're trying to bring more information in on that. And then on Saturday night, we're gonna do a seared duck breast with a rosehip sauce. And so we'll have those two dishes for the whole month of February. And then in March, it'll be something new and something exciting and different. And that'll continue each month. So we'll have 24 different dishes throughout the season, throughout the 12 months.
Gumbo is a dish that is near and dear to my heart. Part of it has to do with the dish itself, right? I love it. It reminds me of home and when and where I grew up. And but also I use it in my academic life. As a teacher, I often teach African American foodways classes, and I talk about foodways in my American literature classes because food, in some ways, is a great equalizer. One of the things about gumbo is that it becomes a way, it's a communal dish, right? So people who didn't have a lot, it's like, hey, I've got some chicken bones. Hey, I've got this. So people could collaboratively prepare a meal, right? Everyone could put something in, and you could have this plentiful meal from, potentially from very little. So it's great, the aesthetics of it, symbolically, the coming together, the history of it. It's just a wonderful dish.
Gardening and farming and just fresh food has always been near and dear to my heart. Growing up, I remember going home after school and going and picking sugar snap peas in the garden, or like having a really bad day and just going and pulling weeds, and that just made everything better. And I have so many memories of working in different gardens in that space that brings people together, whether it's through the communal act of harvesting or planting or preparing that food. It just bridges those cultural, those socioeconomic divides that may exist, and just really brings people together as a community. And that's what we hope to do, is to just have healthy, simple food that makes people relate to one another and helps them to cross those bridges and to find commonalities. We want to tie in all of the community resources that we have, all of the people and their wealth of knowledge in this area, and really bring them into the space, get advice from our community members when we can, and maybe influence on what dishes they would like to see, or maybe recipes that are familiar and loved by their families, and then just have this be a community space. I know that there are events like murder mystery dinner nights that are being planned, and maybe board game nights and different things like that. So we really want it to be a community space and to get everyone involved and to feel welcome and just pull on those different resources and highlight those when we can. One thing that we're going to do is a Farmer Spotlight series. So each month we're going to feature a different farmer and have information about them and their practices and why they do what they do, and then have a small fundraiser for them at the end of the month. And we'll do that each month to just kind of refocus, it's not about us, it's about the farmers that are growing the food and about that food itself.